Hey guys, how you doing? So I don't normally do videos like these, so I think I'm just gonna try to do it in a more casual approach. This is gonna be more like a ranting video, because I'm sure I don't really need to explain to you that this year has been really rough. Life in general has been really rough on a lot of people. As the years keep going by, unhappiness keeps on increasing, and a lot of people might be looking for a cure. And while one person might not be able to single-handedly change the entire world, there are things that you can do to help yourself. And yeah, I know I might sound really cliche saying that, but how you deal with life is a big part of whether or not you're going to be happy. So what this video is really about is pessimism. And I always like kind of talk down on pessimism. I don't think people should be pessimistic. And some people will actually talk back to that, to say the opposite, like, oh no, pessimism's great. But I do genuinely think that one of the biggest problems, if not the biggest problem, that the world is currently facing is that most people are negative, too negative, for their own good. They always assume the worst is gonna happen. They always assume the worst of people around them. And I can't tell you how many times I've heard the saying, oh, expect the worst, that way you'll be prepared for it, or you'll be pleasantly surprised. But that type of logic only really makes sense if you are a pessimist. It's not mentally healthy for you to just always expect bad things to happen to you. Because, you know, what's the point if only bad things will happen to you? Where's the drive? Where's the motivation if you're always thinking bad things will happen to you? And that's where a lot of pessimists kind of fall. They believe that the world is out to get them, the world is evil, and the only solution is to commit forever sleep. And there are tons of people who have decent lives, but because they're always focusing on the negative aspects of their life, they think they're a lot worse off and more hopeless than they actually are. A lot of people have trouble making new friends because they're always scared of being rejected. They always think that the worst is going to happen if they reach out to somebody. People who have trouble taking criticism, which is a little bit more on topic with what I usually discuss. But people who have trouble taking criticism, they always view it as offensive whenever somebody critiques something that they like. They can't imagine that this person wants to help them, or they just disagree, or they have had a bad day and maybe they don't really mean it. Instead, because they're expecting the worst of this person, instead they think, you are evil. You are evil for criticizing something I like. It's the same logic with politics. The reason why politics are so tense right now is because people are being pessimistic about the other side. In their head, it's not a possibility that they just disagree how to solve a problem. It's that they are evil and that they are out to get you. The world is out to get you because the world is a terrible, evil place. I do understand that to some degree it's okay to be cautious. It's even better to be cautious. That doesn't mean that you have to go assuming the worst of everything around you in your life. And I think that pessimism over the years has been increasing, which is linked to the increase in unhappiness and therefore the increase in people committing forever sleep. It seems like a lot of people these days really praise pessimism as being an overall good thing, and they scoff at the idea of optimism, saying, oh, if you're optimistic, you're just childish, you're just foolish. And I remember it very prominently during my high school years. Now, I don't know if I've really talked too much about my high school years on this channel, but that was some of the most depressing years of my life. And I was talking about this not too long ago, but it's really weird to me that high school, where all these kids, I'm sure, are going through depression and hard times and stress, all the books that the high schools are assigning you to read are all bittersweet or sad endings. Like, really, think about it. The books that you're assigned to read in high school, what, Romeo and Juliet, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, The Great Gatsby, Of Mice and Men, they're all bittersweet or sad endings. And the teachers, my teachers at least, in the class, they all praise those sad endings as being more real. It's more deep. It's better that it's written that way. And the mere fact that they're describing this as being more real, this is more well-grounded, more realistic to real life, That's just validating the fears and the anxieties that these depressed teenagers already have. And it's not just in high school that this type of praise for negativity happens. It's all over the internet, of course. People are more willing to believe if a movie made them cry, it's a better movie. Because if it's sad, then it's praised as being better than, say, a happy ending. Why? Because it's more realistic, it's more well-grounded, it's less childish that way. As if only childish movies can have happy endings. As if it's unrealistic to have a happy ending or a happy life, for that matter. And I can tell you right now, no, it's not unrealistic to be happy. No, it's not foolish to be happy. No, the world is not out to get you, and I'm quite certain that most of humanity are good people, or at least try to be good people. Like I said, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be cautious, but don't just assume the worst of people. Don't just assume the worst of the world. That's not gonna make you happy. And I realize that people are praising that negative thinking, people are praising these negative stories, but maybe it's a little bit more difficult for people to go against the grain and say, hey, that fucking sucks. That's a shitty way to think about life. Keep in mind also that there was like a large portion of time where optimism was way more popular. You already know that I love Walt Disney, but you think about how he envisioned Tomorrowland, and he had such an optimistic view of the future. A lot of people did. Like even looking back at those old futuristic shows like the Jetsons, it's always picturing people in the future as having like nice, happy lives. Now you look at the more recent stuff, and every time there's something that takes place in the future, it's always apocalyptic, it's always dark and dreary. That's because people's mentality have changed over time to just like something that's darker, like something that's sadder, like something that's more negative, because it's better that way. At least that's what they've been told growing up and going to these writing classes. So it's a little bit irritating. I did want to rant about it, but I also want to tell you to not be so negative. Just don't be so sad all the time. It's not as bad as you probably perceive it to be, whatever your problems are. You can get through anything, you just have to take one step at a time. You just have to be more goal-oriented. You just have to put in the effort, take breaks, and relax. People are so stressed, just relax, guys. Let's try to make optimism cool again. Can we get a hat like that? Make optimism cool again? Maca. And I won't sit here and tell you that I'm always happy and bubbly. I have my own depression cycles to deal with. But I do overall have an optimistic outlook on life. And it's not like I'm necessarily in a good position myself. I don't have a job, I don't have a house, but I'm still optimistic about the future, so what's your excuse? I can already tell you that when New Year's comes around, I'm gonna have a whole list. Things I want to do next year that I definitely have not succeeded doing this year. But honestly, for most of December, I'm thinking maybe January too, I'm thinking I'm just gonna take it nice and slow. And I would encourage a lot of you to do the same. Take it nice and slow. Holidays, have fun, spend time with your family. Make time to make yourself happy. And I know I've said this before, but I really don't want this to be a negative channel. Sometimes I cover some news that, gets blood boiling, that's like negative news. But I don't want to just do that. I like doing positive content as well. I'd actually prefer it if most of my content was positive content, because I don't want to be a source for people to praise negativity and pessimism. I have things that I like to critique, but I'm not overall pessimistic about everything. Nor would I want to encourage other people to think that way. It's also part of the reason why I hate doing negative reviews of anything. I much prefer doing positive reviews. I hope people know that when they see these negative reviews on my channel. It's not because I wanted to do a negative review. If I look into something, whether it be reading or watching something, it's because I expect to like it. And then if I don't like it, I'm really disappointed, and then I just gotta vent it out. It's always a surprise when I hate it. And honestly, 90% of the things that I watch and don't like, I don't even make a video for it. I usually make videos of stuff that I do like, stuff that I can recommend to people. So just keep that in mind. I don't know, I felt the need to say it since I'm bringing up, positivity and negativity. I don't make reviews with the intention of being negative. It's funny, you always get those comments that are like, well, if you didn't like it, why did you read it? And it's like, I didn't know that I wouldn't like it. Trying to give it a chance. Yeah, I guess that's all I wanted to say. Maybe in the comments section you can do yourself a favor and list some positive things that have happened to you this year. I'll go first. Okay, so I did have some negative things happen to me this year, but some positive things. I've actually made a couple new friends. I made new friends online, new artsy friends. I did succeed on my first Indiegogo campaign. Probably gonna be late on it, but positive things, positive things. I got to go on vacation to Cape May. That was really fun. Oh, actually this year I made the most amount of money on one video. I got a new #1 video. I'm not talking about the Serena Williams one. Everyone's watching that one. I'm not making any money off of that one. That's demonetized. And I knew that it would be. But no, there was another video that was monetized that got a lot of views. Some of you probably already know which one I'm talking about. But yeah, that video was my #1 bestseller video. So that was exciting because I normally don't make a lot of money off of YouTube, honestly. I also did 2 Ellie the Eliminator comics. I think I did those both this year. Those are masterpieces, by the way. I don't know why you're not reading them, but and I also redid the icon and the banner. Well, that was for 2021, but then I decided to just do it now. Anyway, if you have any other thoughts on the topic of discussion for this video, or you just want to leave some positive vibes in the comments section, which I'm all for, you can do that down below. Remember to like the video as usual. Sub if you're not subbed and would like to see more content from me. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye! Program restart. Shutting down all systems.